Thank you for joining us today for this presentation on mental health awareness. My name is Michael Onuchovsky, and I'm a sports business minor and a recent spring graduate.
My name is Vartanian, and I'm a junior, management major. I'm also the student engagement chair for the College of Business Ambassadors. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we want you, the students, to be aware of the resources that are available to you despite classes being virtual throughout the semester.
JP and I both knew how challenging these past few months have been for students, and we wanted to help with stress relief and tips to find motivation for completing projects. I want to welcome our guest speaker, who will be giving us professional advice about these resources. Dino Liverano is a licensed mental health counselor at UCF Psychological and Counseling Services, better known as CAPS.
Dino has given his time to answer our questions, and we're happy to have him here. Thanks for joining us, Dino.
My pleasure to be here.
As ambassadors, we want to be the voice of the students. So all these questions have come directly from UCF business students. For our first question, what are some ways COVID-19 has had an impact on mental health of students?
I think that one of the biggest impacts that we're seeing is increased stress levels overall for everybody. I think that one of the things that we know about stress is that it is minimized by our social connectedness, our physical activity, and our routines on a day-to-day basis. And obviously COVID-19 has disrupted all of those things. So we're seeing a lot of increased stress levels that students are experiencing on a day-to-day basis that maybe they weren't prepared for in the same way because it kind of came out of nowhere. It was unexpected.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. So since this is a time where students are experiencing this stressful and difficult situation, what are some tactics that students can implement to help them cope with this increasing stress?
Yeah, there's quite a few things that students can do, or really anyone can do. So really the first thing is going to be routines. We want to make sure that we're at least keeping and rebuilding some of our routines on a day-to-day basis. This can be really hard because our routines, like I was saying, were completely disrupted, but creating new routines. So what is it that you do in the morning before you start working? What does your work routine look like? What does your physical activity routine look like? What is your leisure routine look like? So making sure that you can identify each of these things and they have distinct answers. Also making sure to utilize your social support. So I think that the messaging obviously has been social distancing. And I normally like to say that a good way to think about this is it's supposed to actually be physical distancing, right? Not really social distancing. So making sure that you keep socially connected to those supports that are really important to you, either through video calls or phone calls or whatever it is that you're comfortable with. I think another great idea is to also keep a schedule to help you kind of keep on that routine, to identify what it looks like you're doing on a day-to-day and hour-by-hour basis. And in that schedule, making sure that you're scheduling some break times, making sure that everything just isn't work. I think that one of the bigger changes that we've seen is that since we're working from home and we're working in a virtual environment, those short breaks that we take in between our actual work have just kind of disappeared. So even little things like walking from your car to the building where you may go to classes, the lunch break that you may take, it's all just kind of confined into one space now. And it can feel really almost like a pull to go from one meeting to the next meeting with maybe 10 seconds in between for water. And so I always tell people, make sure you schedule in maybe that 15 minutes that you would have had walking from the car, do something else with that time. Make sure that you're taking a little bit of time for you so that you can recuperate your thoughts a little bit.
I'm definitely going to use some of those examples that you gave. Dino, it has been hard for us to stay focused to school and other commitments. Can you tell us what are some good ways to find motivation while working and taking classes from home?
Yeah, definitely. So motivation is one of those things that decreases when stress increases, right? And so we probably have all experienced this where we just get so overwhelmed, we're like, I don't want to do anything anymore. And so it's really important to take time for yourself. So kind of reharping on that and the importance of that. The more that we are stressed, the more time that we need to take to do the things that we enjoy. So make a list or identify a couple of things, either activities or hobbies that you enjoy that you can continue doing. For a lot of people, like I was saying a little bit earlier, physical activity has decreased just because we spend more time in the house now. So if that was a part of your routine previously, making sure that you're working that in there, because that can significantly reduce your stress levels. I think that also really just remembering what your goals are and the intermediate steps towards those goals, and that can sound really simplistic, but it's really important to us, right? So if we're able to identify, what is it that I'm working towards? What's the next step that I need to take towards that? So if you're trying to complete a class, just what's the next assignment that you need to complete? And the next step that you need to take just to make a little progress on that assignment, and making sure that we're always working towards that next step rather than getting lost in the overall large goals. I think that can be much more motivating for people when they recognize all of the progress that they are already making.
That are great advices. So if students have additional questions or would like to tap into resources, can you tell us more about the current services that CAPS provides and how students can access them?
Yeah, absolutely. So we offer a variety of services for a lot of different presenting concerns. And so this can be anything from like increased stress levels to anxiety that you may be experiencing, either that's new anxiety or something you've experienced your whole life, depression, or many other mental health concerns. We work with all of it. So if students have any questions whatsoever, or they're just kind of wondering if maybe counseling is for them, I always recommend that they give us a call. They can speak with one of our front desk people who will be able to tell them, what it is, our services that we have, and what it is that they might be able to utilize. They can set them up with an appointment to speak with a counselor, and the counselor will give them their recommendations, let them know what they think might be helpful for them, and really get them integrated into our services and give them more information on everything so that they know. So even if students are just interested in finding out more about our services, just give us a call on our main number, and that's 407-823-2811. They can also visit us on our website, and that would give them all information on many of our services, including all of the groups that we currently offer for the semester.
Dino, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time to answer these students' questions, and I think you've made a tremendous impact for the students who are watching.
My pleasure. I hope you guys have a great day.